Welcome back, everyone, to Public Affairs. I am your host, Kayleigh Aiken, and today I am here with the Bucyrus City Schools Superintendent. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about you?
Hi, my name is Bob Briton. I'm the superintendent of the Bucyrus City School District. In my 37th year of education, before being at Bucyrus City Schools, I lived and worked in Marion County for 25 years, 14 years as a superintendent at Ridgeville Local Schools and a teacher and a coach the other 9 to 10 years at Elgin Local Schools.
Yeah, so you got a lot of experience in there.
There's been a lot of experience, a little bit of moving around too, but I love what I'm doing, and we have some really exciting things going on at the Bucyrus City School District right now.
Absolutely. Let's get started on some of that stuff. So would you like to share some information about your organization that pertains to industry manufacturing?
Sure. Right now, we're working with industry and manufacturing personnel and leaders within the Crawford County and surrounding areas. Started off, we got a career tech and equipment grant for about $700,000 to bring in some manufacturing training for our students who are at the Bucyrus City School District in the high school. We really partnered with our manufacturing and industry leaders once we got the grant because we didn't know, and we don't know to some extent, what those manufacturers and industry leaders need from our students. Too many times, I think, in education, we kind of put the cart before the horse. We'll get the funds, we'll put a program in, but we never go back to the professionals and the experts in the area to ask them what they truly need and how we can benefit them moving forward with the work we're going to do. So what we're doing right now, after we've had some of these meetings with our Project Advisory Committee and manufacturing focus groups, we're going to begin to skill up our students. We have talked to them, I don't want to say ad nauseum, we've talked to them quite frequently about the skills they need. And one of the main things that they keep coming back to us and telling us is that our students need to have soft skills. And soft skills training is something that has not happened probably in a long time. You go back 4 or 5 years ago when the dreaded word COVID was out there. We lost a good year and a half to 2 years of being able to teach our kids and train our kids in how to have those soft skills. And by soft skills, I'm talking about things that are transferable across many industries. You're talking about, problem solving, creative thinking, logical thinking, accountability, responsibility, things that a lot of times we take for granted, but our kids just don't have those skills right now. With this focus group, we've talked about the need for underrepresented groups in manufacturing. So right now we're working really diligently we're going to start working with our young ladies within the elementary, junior high school and high school on skill attainment in manufacturing. We are working with Women in Manufacturing Group out of Northeast Ohio. They're going to partner with us to help bring us some curriculum and interest levels to our young ladies that are within the school district. We have a program called Youth Science, and we found that we have quite a large group of students, of female students who are very interested in manufacturing, a lot of interest, but there's not a lot of aptitude. And a lot of that goes back into the STEM program, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. The other thing we're looking at with the skill development is the credential attainment. In Crawford County and the surrounding areas right now, credential attainment for entry-level positions is only at about 25 to 30%. A lot of times the students go out into the workforce, they'll get a job, and they'll have to have on-the-job training. Part of what we want to do is allowing our students the ability to leave our building with some credentials in hand, so when they walk out, they may not be starting at $16 to $17 an hour. They may be starting at $19 to $20 to $21 an hour. And that way, it doesn't take as much then for the manufacturer or as much time or expense to put into those students or young individuals to whip them up into a position where, okay, I have them here, I have to train them for the first 3 or 4 months, where if they can come out with the credentials that they have, they're going to be in a better shape and better place. One of the other things that is going to help with this will be, I have been selected to participate in the Ohio STEM Learning Network, an Innovative Leaders Institute. That's an opportunity for me to go out and see, what other school districts are doing, what manufacturers are needing or wanting from our students. We'll have 5 in-person opportunities for learning, and I'll have 2 separate virtual opportunities to learn. So I'm excited about that. That starts next fall. Actually, the beginning of the program is a virtual meeting in August, and then the 5 personal meetings after that. So I'm really excited to get out there amongst other people who are doing the same things that we are starting here in the Bucyrus City School District. I mentioned briefly the Career Tech Equipment Grant of about $700,000 that we got. What we have done with that and what we are currently doing or beginning is we're converting some learning spaces within our building right now that we currently have that we are not using. And we're going to convert those spaces into a fab lab, which is a creative thinking lab and career exploration and awareness lab for our junior high kids and some of our early high school kids. And then we're going to have a PLC and robotics lab, which will contain some Allen Bradley PLC, some Fanuc robotics, pneumatic and electrical trainers. So when our kids are leaving, they'll have some of those basic skills that our manufacturers are looking for into the workforce.
You're setting your students up for 6. That's wonderful. So what types of industry manufacturing initiatives are your organization implementing now, and what types of future industry manufacturing initiatives are you planning?
Well, right now, what we want to do is we want to prepare our students for jobs that don't exist yet. I talked about the transferable skills. They're going to be a big focus on our initiative as we move forward. The soft skills, the skills that in a PLC you may not have an Allen Bradley PLC, it may be another manufacturing PLC, but there will be enough knowledge within that student who has been trained in the PLC to be able to operate and effectively use them with little to no training at all. We are really going to be focusing on STEM education, especially in our elementary school. We have, for the past several years, the Bucyrus City Schools has not offered any STEM education program at all. This year, through some attrition and some reorganization with our elementary principal and assistant principal and the scheduling, we're going to be able to add a STEM elective, or not a STEM elective, but a STEM special. That'll go along with our library, art, music, and physical education. So there'll be 5 specials in a week. So every student in the elementary school, at least one time a week, will have some exposure to STEM education, starting from kindergarten through 5th grade. And what we would like to see with that, it will be a nice transition from them as they get out of the elementary school in 5th grade and enter 6th grade to begin the career awareness or career exploration portion of what we're working for in STEM education. In the middle school, in the Fab Lab, really excited about having our students learn to build, take apart, maintain, fly drones. It'll be an introductory course into the drone world. We're going to have them work on some basic robotic skills and some coding that we haven't had in the past. Right now, we do a little bit of coding and we do some things with our data analytics in the junior high school as far as technology is concerned, but we haven't really pushed that. And it's really going to be pretty cool because we're going to have career exploration courses in grades 6, 7, and 8, especially in the 8th grade, when every student in the 8th grade will have a career exploration class for the school year, or for a semester, I should say. That will be embedded, within the curriculum. We've made those changes again. I have a great administrative staff. Our junior high principal, assistant principal, guidance counselors help develop that schedule so that we have that opportunity for those kids to be in that lab and to have those career exploration opportunities, so they know what's out there and they know what they can look at and what interests that they have actually will coincide with the aptitude that they have. I mentioned youth science a little while ago. We are having all of our kids evaluated to know what their interest inventory is, basically, and where their interests lie, whether it be in manufacturing or healthcare or agriculture, whatever it happens to be. But then that will help to inform us and what we need to do within those spaces. Within that Fab Lab space, we'll have CNCs. We'll have 3D printers, laser engravers, things that kids can get their hands on and create some things. We want to give them some good problem solving, or give them some problems that they have to sit together, collaborate, problem solve, build some teamwork. Again, some more of that soft skill building that we would have for our kids. We're also collaborating with OSUM and the engineering club at OSU Mansfield. It's a Michael Byrne Manufacturing. They're co-designing lessons for use during the Manufacturing Week in October for us. And that partnership is going to be developed with the Regional Manufacturing Coalition. And then that way they can replicate that and use and share with all the school districts in Richland, Morrow, and Crawford counties. So, again, we're trying to get out in front of some things to give our kids some really nice opportunities to learn and to explore where they want to go, once this portion of their educational life is over. We'll also have instructional design experts from the Middle Ohio Educational Service Center. Kayleigh Wilborn, she'll help support the STEM teaching in the middle school. We will also have, as I flip the paper, we'll also have a high school credential lab. Again, as I mentioned, Allen Bradley PLCs, logic controllers, Fanuc robots, electronics and pneumatics trainers. We have 6 teachers who are early adopters in these programs. We have 3 in the middle school and 3 in the high school. And they're going to be working with a professional from the TIES organization, which is Teaching Institute of Excellence in STEM Education. It's a nationally recognized instructor who is fantastic and excellent in Fab Lab. It will help our teachers, again, to develop some of those lessons and opportunities for our kids to work in the Fab Lab and get, quote unquote, get their hands dirty, and figure out what's going on. And then with the help of our manufacturing partners, we're working to create a continuum of work-based learning. We want our manufacturers and industry leaders to come in, observe what we're doing in these spaces, and give us real-world problems that they would like for us to solve.
Yeah.
Whether they've already solved them or not, but it would give our kids an opportunity to get into a real-world situation and say, okay, this is what's out there and this is what I need to be able to do if I want to be successful moving into the manufacturing world when I leave here.
Absolutely. I love how you are starting that STEM program in the younger kids, and then you've got some in the middle school and some in the high school. A lot of the people that I've heard from, they're like, oh, we do this with our high school students. Well, I love that you're implementing it into your younger kids. What made you think of wanting to do that?
Well, a lot of it's career awareness. A lot of times kids don't understand what's out there. As a child, well, that's been a long time ago, but as a child, I can remember, police officer, military, fire department, fireman. My dad was a mechanic. I mean, it was not that it was bad. It was just very sheltered. Very enclosed. And now we're in a worldwide community where there are all kinds of opportunities out there for kids. And with the STEM, and if they don't have a very strong foundation and background in STEM, I think we're doing our students an injustice. And they're not having the opportunities, or they will not present themselves as they continue through high school, that students who would have had those opportunities in other districts or in other parts of the state had, and our kids are now behind. And my goal is to make sure our kids aren't behind. I want my kids to be the first ones out the gate that people are going to hire and understand they've been trained, they have the good soft skills, they're responsible, they're accountable, they show up on time, they come to work every day, and those are the skills that I want to see transferred over. And I think that starts in the elementary school, and bringing that STEM in is another hook or another reason for those kids to come to school, because they'll be very excited about what's going on in the STEM class.
Absolutely. Well, I think you put that very beautifully in perspective.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we will be taking a short break, and we'll be right back.
I hope the days come easy and the moments pass slow, and each road leads you where you wanna go. And if you're faced with a choice and you have to choose, I hope you choose the one that means the most to you. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope you keep on walking till you find the window. If it's cold outside, show the world the warmth of your smile. But more than anything, more
Welcome back, everyone, to Public Affairs. Before the break, we were talking about implementation of manufacturing into younger kids. Now, we will be talking about what role do manufacturers play in supporting manufacturing programs in your school district?
Well, Kayleigh, I'll tell you right now, we just started the program in the fall. As I said earlier about the Career Tech Equipment Grant. After we had received the grant award, I began to sit and talk with my assistant, MOESC, program director, Amy Wood, and we decided, okay, how are we going to roll this out so it makes sense? And she has done a tremendous job with the business advisory councils, the Area 10 workforce, making sure that there's connections happening between school and manufacturing and industry leaders. So what we first developed is a project advisory committee. And again, as I said earlier on, pretty much in the first question or at the beginning of the interview, as a school district, we don't know really technically what the manufacturers or industry leaders need. So we felt it was very imperative to grab a bunch of stakeholders from all I can't think of the word I want to use, but basically all walks of life. We have industry leaders, we have manufacturers, we have business leaders, we have higher education. We brought some elementary parents in, community members in, get local government officials, high school parents came in, high school students came in, middle school students, and we sat and we listened to, basically introduced what we were doing, and then sat and listened and try to be very intentional in our listening as to what the industry wants. I was very happy after the first meeting and talking to a couple of the manufacturers in the Bucyrus area. They said to me, this is the first time we've been invited to the table to discuss what we need, instead of the school district just saying, this is what we're going to do, and when they're done, they're yours. So for me, it was very vindicating to the fact that we're taking our time and being intentional about what we're doing and how we're listening to those who are in the front lines every day in the manufacturing and in the major industry world. And we're not just going off shooting at the hip. We meet with them quarterly, the Project Advisory Committee. We inform them of how the project is progressing. Last meeting we had, or 2 meetings ago, we gave them all the information of all of the equipment that we purchased, where the equipment's going to go. The plan for this summer is, after those spaces are built and finished, we're going to have the Project Advisory Committee members go through the building. I would like to get them in there in the fall, after they take a look at what it looks like at the beginning of the year. But sometime in the fall, in October, November, once we've had the opportunity to have students in those spaces and have the students working and showing what we have been, what they've been learning, mm-hmm. and how they're being trained. That advisory committee then will reconvene, and they can provide feedback as to what they have seen. Along with that, we have a manufacturing focus group, and they're made up of Crawford County manufacturers. And what they have helped us do, again, is outline the skills and competencies needed for successful manufacturing careers. So when you're looking at sending someone out to the floor, as I said, just a recent graduate, if they don't have any competence or any skill attainment, then it falls on the manufacturer to train those people up to the skill level that they need them to be able to run a machine, to be able to be on the line. And hopefully we can provide that opportunity for those kids to attain those credentials and move that forward. We were advised on a selection of credentials to provide or to offer our students. And that's not just for right now, but that's also for future careers and future programs. We're going to continue to engage with that group, both groups, but especially the manufacturers group. And one of the things we would like to do is, along with the real world problem solving and continuum of education, begin to establish relationships in the areas of job shadowing, apprenticeships, maybe even a direct line from school to work, so to speak. It would be internship, apprenticeship, whatever you want to call it. It would be something that our students would be able to have then a relationship not only with the manufacturer but also with the people who are already working there. And as long as they can provide a skill and some worth on the floor in the job space, then it'll be a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely. So how can manufacturers become involved with your guys' program?
Oh, we definitely welcome greater involvement at any time from all of the regional programs. If they would like to be involved in the project advisory committee, where they like to be involved in manufacturers focus group, if they'd like to provide us with work-based learning opportunities for students inside the classroom, or more importantly, at their local facilities, all they would have to do is reach out to the Bucyrus City Schools, contact me or Amy Wood. The phone number is 419-562-4025, and my email address is on the website, and it's rbriton@bucyrusschools.org.
Absolutely. Well, I love what you guys are doing here. So I know you guys are just starting this program, but do you have any successful collaborations that you guys have had already?
Well, right now we're working with the business advisory councils, both of Crawford County and from the Mid-Ohio Educational Service Center. I've done some work with the Area 10 Workforce and Clint Black. Sorry, Clint. But anyway, we also have developed teacher boot camps. With the Mid-Ohio Educational Service Center. We do student wage tours with the manufacturing groups. We are doing some career mentoring. We're doing career fairs and reverse career fairs. So, we'll have our students go out to different career manufacturers and have careers out there, but we're bringing manufacturers in to the buildings to have that reverse career fair. So the kids are, manufacturers are coming in, and our students are able then to visit with them more on an individual basis within the school buildings. So those are some of the things that we are currently doing. We would love to expand that again to, as I said, to the work-based learning opportunities, both within the classroom, within the facilities.
Yeah, I love how you included what a reverse career fair is, because I have no idea what it was. I've only been to a normal one. So how can schools better align their programs to meet the needs of the manufacturing sector? I know, guys, how you've been implementing it, but how do you think surrounding schools could help with that as well?
Well, I think that just begin to look to see what is needed within the local manufacturing community. Begin to look at what kind of credentials could possibly be offered within the realm of their facilities and what they currently have. Speak with other school districts. Take the opportunity to go to various conferences, the Ohio Excels Conference, the AIM Higher Conference. Get out and visit other school districts that are the STEM schools within the area, within the Ohio School Learning Network, that are providing these opportunities for kids on a daily basis. Those are the things that have really gotten me to the point where I'm very, very excited about what we're going to embark on, because I see the value in what they're doing and what it can provide our students when they graduate from high school.
Absolutely. So with the help of your guys' program, what do you think the growth in manufacturing should look like in 5 to 10 years?
That's a tough one. The one thing that people talk about all the time, and I haven't mentioned it a whole lot right now, but AI in manufacturing is a big one. I was just at an AI summit yesterday in Mansfield, and one of the stats that really kind of floored me was the fact that, according to national studies, AI is going to replace over 80 million jobs within the next 5 to 10 years. However, AI is also going to create 90 to 100 million jobs over the next 5 to 10 years. So to be out in the forefront and to have some of these skills right now coming out of school, with the programmable logic controllers, some pneumatics and electronics training, some robotics training, that's a head start for all of our kids, because a lot of that stuff, even though it's done through, a logic programmable computer or programmer, you are still programming, and it's still doing everything that you need to do through artificial intelligence. So I feel like that's where we're headed. I mean, a lot of people can say, I'm not into AI. It scares me. I don't want to do it. Well, regardless of whether or not you like AI, it's here and it's not going anywhere.
No.
And our students and our kids especially, I've got a nephew or great nephew, great niece, they're younger than 2 years old. They will never grow up in a society that doesn't have artificial intelligence and AI. So, I think that's probably where we're headed. And I know that's where it's headed. And I think that we need to stay in the forefront of that as well. And those are some of the things we'll continue to look at in our programming.
Yeah, so with that, it's kind of scary because AI takes jobs, but it also gives it. So with that being said, what kind of advice would you give to students who are interested in pursuing careers in manufacturing?
I grew up in the 80s, 70s and 80s. It's not the manufacturing that I grew up with. It's not probably the pictures you've seen in your history books. Manufacturing is clean, it's lean, it's climate controlled for the most part. It's very... It's lucrative. There's money to be made. You can make a great living, a great career. Do research early. Get into finding out what your interests are early. And if you have an aptitude and an interest in manufacturing, in robotics, in programming, in coding, in artificial intelligence, you do that research early and take advantage of any of the exploration or career awareness programs that are available to you. Go try to do some job shadowing, do apprenticeships, make sure that you get out and meet the people who are in charge of the manufacturing facilities if you have the opportunity. They need good, accountable, well-trained employees in the very, very near future. And it can be a great career for someone who's very interested in pursuing that course of action.
Absolutely. Well, as we're getting ready to wrap up this interview, is there anything that you'd like to add that we may have missed, or a closing statement of any kind?
Now, other than the fact that I'm very excited and proud of the Bucyrus City School District and the Board of Education for helping us move through this phase of our growth within the district. I think that you're going to see Bucyrus City and the students from Bucyrus City Schools, attain some very, very wonderful things as we, continue to, roll this program out. I'm very excited for our students. I'm very excited for our community. And I really like the path that we're on and the collaboration and the relationships we're creating within the community.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Bob, for being on today. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
I
Kayleigh.
learned a lot, and I hope the audience did as well.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Pleasure to be here.
And as always, you're watching Public Affairs, and I am your host, Kayleigh Aiken. Thank you.